And like working for Kathy, you know, like the first day, like, are you just like, was there an orientation? Is it like, okay, good luck?
I don't even think she saw my resume before I started. Like, it was just kind of show up, like, you work for her now. Okay, fill out your tax information so you get direct deposit and let's go. Like, there was no vetting process with me whatsoever. I don't even think they did a background check when I started.
And you just like figured it out, like how to make travel and do this. And I mean, you know, like now that we're in the work world, these are easy things, but you know, like when I was starting out, I couldn't do anything in life, really.
Yeah. And working as a personal assistant, you have to learn what they like and what they don't like. So I knew Kathy always wanted to fly first class, and she was very picky about her hotels, and she was the one who actually would research the hotel she wanted to stay in and the specific room. So then I had to call the hotel and make sure they had that specific room. So it's kind of just learning her preferences and what she liked. And Jessica was a big help because she had been there for a few years, so she kind of knew everything already. So it was kind of just passing the baton to me and kind of showing me the ropes and everything that she liked.
So she liked like specific rooms.
Yeah, she was very picky with her rooms, which, I mean, it helped me with traveling now. Like, I can never travel again. Like, I'm not staying in the Motel 6 anymore, and that's probably a bad thing because Kathy has taught me, like, no, these are the hotels that you need to stay in. So when I travel now with my husband, my taste is a little different than what it was college years.
It really makes a difference based on the hotel. It really does. Really does.
Yeah, I don't let anyone else plan anything. Like, I'll figure it out.
I mean, the rooms I'm not really particular on. I like a higher floor versus a lower floor, but I don't really care about. I care about the hotel. That I'm like, you know, and like once in the hotel, I don't care about the room. But interesting.
Yeah.
What's like one of the, you know, not in a bad way, but like one of the most high maintenance things that Kathy you know, like along those lines of like a hotel room, like what's one of the things she was like, just, you know, you're like, oh God, this is
it was probably the hotel room because
really?
Every time we would travel, if we would get to a hotel like at 11 o'clock at night and we walked into the room and she didn't like a room, it was them scrambling to find another room. And I totally get it because she's traveling all the time. She wants to feel comfortable. She has to sleep. She was a night owl, so she would kind of sleep at different times of day. I was more of the morning person, getting things set up before she would wake up. So I totally get it. If you're on the road all the time, you want to be comfortable in your hotel rooms. And if you don't want a specific hotel room, she was not gonna just stay in one just because. Like, she was like, can you get me another room? Like, this is not correct. So it was always like, I hope she likes the room. I hope she likes the room. Like, I hope it's set up correctly. I hope, you know, because she was allergic to feathers in the pillows. So she wanted foam pillows. So I would have to call ahead to make sure they had the foam pillows. So it was all those things. So that's probably what gave me the most anxiety, was when she was traveling, making sure if I was with her, I could at least handle it and get it all set up for her. But if she traveled with someone else or traveled alone and she got there and it wasn't set up, then there's only so much you can do, like over the phone and not being there. So that was always the most anxiety-ridden thing for me.
You would get those calls, like, I mean, even though like you would get those calls like at all hours, just like, this room sucks. Like, what the heck?
Exactly. And I do remember the very first time she was going on tour when I first started working for her, when she would go to like Florida or New York for long periods of time, she would ship her clothes. So she always liked to carry on. She didn't like checking her bags. So I was in charge of shipping her clothes to Florida. I put the wrong address on the FedEx shipping label. So it didn't end up at her hotel where it was supposed to be. So whoever, I forget who her tour manager was at the time. So they called me having to track down her box. And it was like they had to go to the FedEx shipping center and all that stuff. So that was like my first big, like, whoopsie, working for her. Like, I think that was like the only time she got mad at me. It was like, where are my clothes? Why aren't they in my hotel room? So that was like, you know, I was a newbie. I was like, sorry.
How did that go over?
I mean, she didn't stay mad at me for long. I mean, she was more irritated than anything that she had to go track down her clothes before a show. But they got the box. It was all good. But that was just like, my heart sank when I got that phone call because I was like, oh my God, I messed up already and I just started for her. I'm so sorry.
Were you like, oh my God, I am literally going to get fired today?
Yeah. I thought so. I'm like, I lost her. Like, she's in Florida. She landed and has no clothes. Like, she had nothing. She just took like her purse and her magazine that she reads on the plane. So she nothing.
Was there any time like where you did do something and you just got it? Like you just felt the wrath of Kathy?
I don't think she ever really got mad at me like that. Like if I did mess up or anything, I usually would catch it before she would find out and fix it, so I wouldn't even have to tell her. But yeah, I would always be scared that I would book her on the wrong flight to like the wrong state or something. Luckily, I never did that. But I don't think she truly got really mad at me for anything like that.
Like Kathy never really got so upset with you.
I mean, nothing that would like over 7 years where made me leave the job. So I lasted that long. So I was doing something right.
Is being like a personal assistant for, you know, like a high profile celebrity, is it really truly like 24/7?
She was really good about giving us our personal time. I mean, I had set hours that I would work at her house. The only thing was when we were filming the show, we would be gone pretty much the whole time. So I would maybe be home once or twice a month. So this filming schedule was really rough on having. That's why I was always single when I was working for her, because I didn't have time to date. And my friends was like text messaging and Facebook and stuff like that. So that's when it was kind of 24/7 because I was just gone all the time. But weekends I usually had off unless we had an event or something. And then usually at night I was at my own house. I didn't live with her. People always thought I lived with her, but thankfully we had our own space. But it wasn't 24/7. She was very good about giving us our own personal time.
Did you ever get those calls of, you know, like it's, you know, like just not even Kathy, just the stereotypical, like what my mind goes to is, you know, like it's 4 a.m. and I need diet soda and there's no diet soda. So get in your car from your bed in your own house and get to my house at 4:30. Nothing like that.
Nothing like that. The only time she called me kind of after hours was when she was with Cher. She did talk about this in one of her specials. And they couldn't figure out how to order pizza. And I don't know where Cher's assistant was, because I know Cher's assistant lived on her Malibu compound, but maybe she had the day off or something. So they called me asking me to order them pizza at like 8 o'clock at night. So I had to figure out how to get pizza to Cher's house.
And like literally Kathy nor Cher knew how to like just, I mean, this was before Seamless and all that.
Yeah, there was no DoorDash back then. There was no Uber Eats, none of that while I was working for Kathy. So it was like me going out to get it. But that point, I think I just called like a local Malibu pizza place and had pizza delivered to Cher's house.
And you had to like make sure like you got what they wanted. And do you remember what type of pizza the goddess that is Cher eats?
I don't know. I think the pizza was maybe a little more for Kathy because she was big. She loved pizza, but it had to be like thin pizza, a certain type of pizza. It wasn't like Domino's or anything. So I don't remember exactly what I ordered for them at all.